Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Taryn, artist from California. You know.
Hey, Taryn. And I'm Sieglinde. I'm also an abstract artist based in California. Woohoo! And this is, you already know, Art Sparks with Taryn and Sieglinde.
All right, before we start, I just want to thank all the people that have been subscribing and are encouraging us. Thank you so much. We're just starting in, so we're new. Thank you. All right.
Yes, thank you so much for building this platform with us, and we're here for you. And what are we talking about today, Taryn?
Today, we're talking about misconceptions about buying art.
Ooh, right. Let's get rid of the stress and the tension and the anxiety because, oh my God.
Yeah.
The number one misconception about art is original art. It's too expensive for me. What would you say to that, Taryn?
Okay. Yes, I think we have an idea. We have a lot of ideas. It can be expensive, but it can depend. You know, we've been talking about it. We have all type of art, and we have a lot of type of different pricing. All right. But if we go, for example, we start from the beginning, and if you want to start getting to know a little bit of art, galleries, yes, you can go to galleries, visit the galleries. They can be more expensive. If you have the money to spend it in galleries, that's great. But it gives you an idea, and it gives you an idea of what you like, or what's your budget. So, yes, I like going to galleries, see how much they are, see how much you can do, how much you can spend, and then you move to like, okay, you like the art, what you can do. No? And then we move to contacting artists. If you have.
Yeah, I agree. I think galleries are an awesome place to discover artists and to learn about artists and their work. Mm-hmm. To learn about pricing, because what you see in so what you see in the gallery is like top notch. So I fully agree with you. If you have the disposable income to make this kind of an investment, if you buy in a gallery, you know that you are buying the cream of the crop of this artist because the work has been vetted for you. But then I also want to go back to our previous episode where we say there's art for every budget. And so if you're not quite ready for the gallery system, or you could start saving up, like once you know the budget that you need to reach, you can start putting money aside every month to get to that level and then buy this vetted high quality piece of art, right? Or you can start connecting with artists directly, as you mentioned. And then you would still buy high quality art, but when you go directly to an artist studio, you could ask for those pieces that a gallery would not display, such as sketches or studies or really small pieces. Because remember, you know, like size is one of the biggest indicator for price. And then also early career work. Now, not every artist will have this, and not every artist will want to sell this. But you know what? At least it's a great conversation opener. What did you say?
Well, yes, and it's a great beginning. If you haven't bought something before, go with something that is going to be small so you can feel comfortable how you're going to spend, feel comfortable about where you're going to put it, and how you feel about it.
Exactly. Oh, and so I want to touch upon that. Like, how do I feel about it? Because a lot of times I hear, I don't know enough about art or what is good art to spend that much money on it. Whatever much money is, right? Because that's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. And then I hear sort of like art is so intimidating, right? I don't always understand it. And yeah, I would like to say, before you reply, I would like to say that I fully agree.
It can be intimidating.
Because I'm a professional artist. I have been for 20 years. I have a formal education in art, and there's art that I don't understand and that intimidates me. It's all okay. Would you agree? Or am I like completely out of line now?
Well, see, for me, intimidating, I'll get curious with that. Intimidating, some places can be intimidating for me. Sometimes when I go to a gallery, I can feel intimidated, all right? Or how they treat it or whatever. Yes, it could be intimidating. Art, I like the change of shit in the way of, I like to understand it. So when it's a piece that I don't understand, I like to learn more about it. So for example, for if you want to buy an art and you feel it's intimidating, just jump in, okay? If you're in a gallery and if you go, because it's the place it could be intimidating, ask, because I bet they want to talk about art. And there's no dumb questions, no, just ask, because I bet they want to talk about what they're displaying and they must know about it. And don't ask about artists. Yeah. And don't talk about artists, because artists love to talk about art, okay? So just jump in and ask, and if the place is not very open, then move on to another place. But otherwise, just keep trying and try to understand it. Don't feel like, no. Once you understand it, it's gonna be better. You'll see.
Yes, I fully agree. But I just wanted to say that even we as artists sometimes don't understand other art. And if we say it's okay, then it's definitely okay for everybody else, because it's our job, right? At the end, I fully agree with you that. So, well, first things first. So yes, sometimes there's pieces that you don't understand. Even we have that. But at the same time, understanding art doesn't always have to come from the mind, right? We've been talking a lot about buying art with your heart. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to understand it, maybe you can start asking different questions like, okay, do I like this piece of art? How does it make me feel? Does it inspire me? Do I want to engage with it? So these are questions that the mind cannot necessarily adequately respond to, right? But then, you may actually be intrigued with a piece of art precisely because you don't understand it. And then there's room to go ask questions in the gallery, to go read an article about it, to Google it. I mean, I was a video artist for many years, and my parents did not want to deal with video art at all because they did not know anything about it. And they were very dismissive. And then all of a sudden, because that's what their daughter did, they engaged with it and they learned more about it. And then they started having great conversations about video art with me. And so it really expanded their horizon, even though at first they said, yeah, I don't understand that. I don't get that. Like, okay. And so this curiosity, I think, is huge.
So it's okay. Give them a chance. Give it a chance to, if you don't understand something, too. Okay, what's going on behind the whole thing? And spend your time. Get close. Analyze it. Take your time and really see it. All right.
Now, if it's art that really makes you cringe, you have permission to run away, okay? Maybe.
But it would be good to know. It would be to know, like, why it makes you cringe? Yeah, me too, okay? There'll be like, they don't go with me. That's okay. There's art for everybody. That's a good thing about art. All right?
That's true. And there's something to be said about curiosity goes a long way. And then at least you're right. At least then why it makes you cringe or why you don't like it. Or maybe you like it in a museum, but you would never want it in your home. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of art pieces I like that I would never be able to live with in my own home.
Yes.
Speaking of home, let's go on to the next one. So the next misconception is that art is just decoration and its main function is to match my couch, my color scheme, etc. What would you say to that?
Well, what I say is that if you're going to spend the money in a piece, I'm sorry, but it has to be something that you feel for it. You have some connection to it. So if it's going to be for the couch, I don't think I would say like, don't go and buy stuff because it goes with your couch, because you're gonna be sitting and actually the art is supposed to move you and give you all these things that makes you be creative and be excited. So you give low importance to the piece if it's just for decorations. But I'm an artist, okay? So that would be my bias. Like, you know something? No, change the couch for your painting. That would be my point, okay? But that's just me.
I actually know collectors who did that. They were in love with this one art piece by an artist. They had to save up for it. A few years later, they were able to buy it, and then they brought it home and they realized that their furniture was not working with the artwork. So they changed all their furniture. So they changed the couch for the artwork. That's my kind of collector, although no pressure for anybody. Anyway, so I agree with you on your priority is not matching the couch. I would say like there's two things you can ask from a piece of art for your room. It needs to make your room look better. I mean, the whole thing needs to balance out and work together, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless. And then number two, it needs to make you happy. And then I hear that a lot of people use framing and matting to sort of match the color of the pillows on the couch. And to that, I would say, oh my God, please don't even go there. Because the only thing you can ask from the frame and the matting, well, first of all, the matting is supposed to protect your piece of art. And the framing is supposed to make the art look better. And what if you match it perfectly to your couch and it actually takes away from the artwork? Then you just ruined your own investment. Like the art needs to be able to stand on its own. And I would even say the more neutral you can go in your frames, the more the art can shine. And the more neutral your frames, the better it will fit with everything else in your house.
See, that's the thing. When you change your mind shift, actually your piece of work, a piece of art, can really enhance your room. So I have a friend who wanted to sell a house. He said, Taryn, can you lend me a piece to put it in the dining room? And I was like, why not? Boy, it changed. All right.
Of course.
They end up buying the piece because they realized, and then it was not their style, whatever, but it just changed the whole room. So let's change the mindset. Instead of going to the couch, it's like how that piece would make the room feel better. I don't know.
It's true. And that's what I mean. That's what we talked about about hanging art, like the right piece in the right place. It like completely alters the vibe in the room, right? And this room transformation, it's so funny you mentioned that, it wasn't their style, but it was so perfect in that space. Mm-hmm. See what an open mind can bring you? It was so perfect in that space. I bought it. I worked with a collector last year who loved my paintings and my handmade work. And in the end, he ended up buying 3 large format digital abstract prints. It would not have been his personal choice, but when I proposed it for this one room in his house, he went along with my vision, and then the room transformation was just spectacular. And now he cannot imagine having anything else in that room. So same thing.
So then we can go for the next one about the wrong piece.
Yeah, that's also something I heard, like, what if I buy the wrong piece and then I'm stuck with it? So first of all, I want to say there is no wrong piece of art. There is the wrong piece in the wrong place. However, I want to ask you, what was your motivation when you bought the piece that you now consider the wrong piece? Because if you bought it because of what the experts said about this artwork, or you bought it because of what your neighbors or your family would say about the art. I mean, if you bought it out of concern of other people's opinion, but not really because you liked it, then yeah, you could be stuck with a wrong piece. So again, as we said before, buy art with your heart. First things first is like, does it speak to you? Does it inspire you? Are you curious about it? Does it engage you? But also, what if you bought a piece to match the couch? And all of a sudden you got sick and tired of the couch and the couch is gone. See how this motivation of trying to match can really bite you in the bleep. So, so again, it proves the point that, like change the mindset on how you buy art. It's not just decorations. Like, how does it make you feel? Does it make you smile? Does it make you feel happy? Does it engage you? Does it change the vibe in the room?
Yes.
And then the only thing I can say is like, it can be the wrong piece for the wrong place, but then we just move it, or we reframe it, or we give it a sister or a brother artwork.
Yes.
To balance each other out. There's plenty of things we can do as long as you like the piece.
That's the thing. To avoid it, then you have to really and take your time. You don't have to rush it. All right? When you're choosing your piece of art, because it's a luxury, something that you're gonna be living with it and seeing a long time. So take your time, don't rush it, and make sure that it speaks to you. And nothing will go wrong.
Yes, and you know what? It's almost the exact same words as I emailed to a collector I'm currently working with last week, who was stressed out about not getting back to me fast enough because she needed to discuss things with her husband. And I said, chill, no pressure, no stress. And our journey is meant to be fun and adventurous with this big, beautiful reward at the end. So let's keep it at that. Let's bring the stress down, just enjoy the ride, and then when it's right, you get to enjoy this big beautiful rewards and this uplifting elevated vibe in your home.
Exactly.
And that actually kind of brings me to our last point. Speaking of big elevated vibe, I'm going to throw this one at you. This is because somebody said this to me. They said, Sieglinde, an inexpensive, mass-produced poster in a nice frame works just as well as an original artwork.
And you throw it at me.
Just throw it. Yes. I'm just throwing this one at you.
It's just all right.
What would you say to that?
Well, I grew up with my grandfather being a painter. So in my house, I have always original. So I grew up with a saying that it was so much better a bad original than a very good copy.
That's what he said?
That's what my mom said. That's what I grew up with. So even if it's a small original, it's so much better than a humongous copy. I think the energy or is different. So for me, it's more like the piece itself is the one who is strong enough to able to, like we said before, to make the room look nice.
Right.
Does it a copy of 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 a copy that you have so many, do they have the same effect?
That's a good question. If everybody has the poster in the frame in their house, how would that make you feel?
It doesn't have the same effect than an original piece. I think when you buy a piece, you feel in love and you feel it. That's an original piece. The one that is not gonna be like 2,000 of them, is one, and you can feel that it's original. Then we say, something is different. Another thing is, think about the artist. That's another point. I'm gonna go into risky position. Think about the artist. Imagine that this painting that you bought, the copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, got anything out of his work.
Yeah, that's true too.
So what I'm saying is, you don't have to buy a humongous one. You don't have to buy. No, you can work it out to have a very good original. Because we're trying to give you all these tools so you can buy a really nice original.
Yeah.
And you help, well, not just help, give the artists what they deserve, I think.
Right.
For their job, for their work, I think. I don't know. That's one.
Yeah. So here's my take on it. So if we're just talking about size and color and visual balance, hey, if posters is your cup of tea, be my guest. But then I don't think this platform is for you, because here we are for people who really love art and want something unique and original, right? But there's like everybody has their own taste, no judgment. But then, and on a personal level, I feel that, don't we upgrade in life? I mean, I had posters in my room when I was a teenager. I wouldn't even bother to frame them. I would just staple them straight into the wall, and it worked perfect for me. But I feel like I've upgraded as I got older, and now I prefer original artwork. And the main thing is kind of what you said about the energy, because you know what? Original artwork, or like mass-produced, you know, whether it's posters or IKEA, you know, canvas paintings, you know, like original versus mass-produced. I liken it to words, real plants and fake plants. What brings the life energy in your house? I mean, the fake plant does an awesome job at decorating. You don't even have to water it.
That's true. But it don't have life.
But does it bring that vibe, that life energy? Does it bring that to your room? So that's, you know, and I'm not even going to give the answer. Like, everybody needs to make that, like, bring up, decide for themselves, like original art versus mass-produced, life plants versus fake plants.
Then it has to be, the question is why you get it. Because I think if you do a mass production, or if you buy a piece of that is going to be a copy of a copy, then your reason to get it is different than when you got a original piece. Because actually when you get an original, it's because you feel something for the original. It's not because you want to fill up your walls with something else.
Exactly. So we're back at the motivation of buying art. We just looped everything around.
And if you are want to buy posters, and we're here to talk to you and explain you. Don't worry, don't feel excluded at all. We're just trying to introduce, like, you know, original art. Yes.
Well, and then the other thing is, by the way, like, it's possible that original art at the size that you want is really out of your league, and that's perfectly okay. But then remember, in our episode on Art for Every Budget, we did mention that limited edition prints, or giclée prints, that are hand-signed and numbered by the artist. They are a really good in-between way between the inexpensive mass-produced and the unique original. But like, especially giclée prints, they really feel, they are on art paper, and they really feel like a piece of art. And most importantly, they're hand signed and numbered by the artist. So you still got that direct connection going that gives it this extra uplifting pizzazz, if I can pronounce it that way. So that's, maybe we need to like link that episode back in the,
I think so too,
in the description, so you can go check that out.
And also the one about hanging, because that one you can buy a lot of small ones, and it can have a big one. It makes a whole big family of it. So we can link those two in it. So you can,
yes. So
you can have an idea, see if you want to have big walls. No, you have a big walls and you have to want a big piece.
Exactly. There we go. See, we're here for you. Well, I think we'll leave it at that, right? I mean, that was a lot of information, and especially because it all started tying in together in the end. But please like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody you think would benefit from it. And first of all, leave us your takeaway in the comment and ask us a question. What would you like us to tackle next? Because, you know, we can take your question and then we can have a discussion about it in one of the upcoming episodes.
Yes.
And don't worry, if you do not want to have your name mentioned, we won't mention it. It can be completely anonymous.
Take good advice. All right. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this one helped. All right. And that's it, I think, for today.
Yeah. See you next week.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.